I really do disagree with parasocial relationships, but Becca Bloom, she's an exception. I've never been more excited for a stranger's wedding. Love her. I find her so entertaining. And I do feel like she has a good personality. Like, I would totally be friends with her, and I feel like she would give me good advice.
Oh, shut the hell up.
When someone can't control you, they will try to control how others see you. Psychology says that this behavior is deeply primal.
A therapist too? Girl, you're everything.
Researchers at Stanford University have discovered that gossip and social sabotage are instinctive survival tools. They're hardwired into us. 92% of human conversations about other people are evaluative.
With this post alone, girl, you know more than most of the managers in our company.
You need a solo podcast. I'd love to listen to you in a longer format.
You need her own TED Talk, I swear.
Why are you watching her? Simply because she's my financial advisor, love life coach, psychologist, online friend, instructor, and 1,000 plus more.
I just got back from a seafood restaurant and my rings are so disgusting right now. Let's clean it together while I spill some tea. First, we have to make sure we have our very scientific lab coat on. Tie the hair.
Money plus beauty and brain equals goals.
I started TikTok 2 months ago, and honestly, I have no idea what I'm doing here, but you guys are so nice, so it's my new hobby now. I don't know how long I'm gonna stay here for.
Guys keep being nice so we don't lose her. I feel like this is a whole another world we're getting insight to. It's so interesting.
Okay.
But hopefully a long time. Parents don't know what I'm doing on here. They honestly have no idea really what TikTok is. They just assumed that it was one of those like dance platforms, so.
I think you're so interesting to watch because you're insanely wealthy in comparison to the common folk, but you're also so down to earth that you're relatable. Either way, your content is so cool.
We adore your authenticity, your humility, and a pure energy. You give us a glimpse of life on the other side, but your intelligence and knowledge adds another level of treasure.
Hi! Make my dog's breakfast with me. A chef freeze-dried a batch of herring fish. Our base today is going to be some scrambled eggs and wild-caught tuna. Let that marinate in some bone broth. A chicken heart, 2 quail eggs.
Watching you is therapeutic, queen of elegance.
Never skip a Becca video. They're so diverse. 1 minute. We're watching your dog eat the next. We're doing our weekly therapy appointment.
I'm going to show you guys everything I got for my mom for this year's Mother's Day. So this was probably the most time-consuming, but I made an oil painting for her. I got her.
Hold on. She is freaking crazy smart, stunning, fashionable, a cat lady, and she can freaking paint. This isn't fair.
I love when rich people do rich right.
She is proof that you can be rich, beautiful, intelligent, basically have it all and still be humble.
I will be the biggest enemy for whoever hates on her.
Okay, please don't judge me for this, but I fell in love with the laptop case, but they don't make it in my 15-inch size. It's only in 14-inch, so I decided to buy a new laptop today to fit that laptop case because it was just so pretty. I promise I'm not normally this extra.
PPL saying rich girl problems. This girl wakes up at 5 a.m. for her finance job, was valedictorian and math Olympiad champ. Her drive comes with intense pressure, whether she shows it or not.
What about me?
Humble, having or showing a modest or low estimate of one's own importance. If there's one thing I love doing on this channel, it's speaking my mind. So allow me to do just that today. Becca Bloom is not rich right. She's not refreshing. She's not relatable. She's not some humble exception to the rule of spoiled influencers. She is the rule. Yes, compared to other rich influencers, she seems to be more humble, but that doesn't mean she actually is. And let's be clear, she is so rich. And I don't mean regular rich. I mean generationally, globally, tax haven level billionaire rich. The kind of rich where nothing she ever does will have real consequences. The kind of rich where you don't just live life, you curate it. And yet somehow she's managed to convince a huge chunk of the internet that she's relatable, modest, even inspirational. That's what makes this whole phenomenon so ridiculous. She's not being praised for helping people or changing anything. She's being praised for spending money in a soft voice. She has convinced her fans that privilege is a personality trait, and the way people worship her for it is honestly depressing. This isn't about hate or jealousy. I do not hate her, nor am I jealous of her. Do I want to one day be rich like her? Yes. Do I want to live her lifestyle? Also yes. As a matter of fact, this video isn't even hateful towards Becca.
Stop the cap.
Okay, maybe just a little, but the people that are pissing me off the most are her weird bootlicking fans. So I made this video to give people some clarity because we need to stop confusing rich people doing the bare minimum with being morally superior. Let's start with where she comes from. Becca's real name is Rebecca Ma. She grew up in Atherton, California, which she describes as a small town.
Hi guys, I realize most of you don't know me yet, so today I'm gonna do a little get to know me session. I started this TikTok account a week ago and it was literally for my cat to edit that cat video at the start, and I never knew that people would actually want to watch me. So I'm from the Bay Area, from a little small town called Atherton.
Which is either the worst joke on TikTok or a proof she has no idea how regular people live. Atherton isn't a small town. It's the wealthiest ZIP code in the entire United States. Homes there average well over $7 million. It's where tech billionaires, hedge fund elites, and venture capitalists live, behind private gates and private security. And the crazy thing is, Atherton has spent years actively fighting affordable housing initiatives. The residents, people like Becca's family, don't want the middle or lower class living anywhere near them. They've used lawsuits, zoning restrictions, and pure political influence to block even the tiniest bits of economic integration. That's not a town, that's a fortress, and that's where she's from. Now her wealth doesn't come from some decades-old generational empire. Her parents made it rich more recently, but the scale is still jaw-dropping. Her father, Simon Yaming Ma, and her mother, Heidi Chu, are billionaires thanks to their financial technology company, Camelot Enterprise Systems. But they didn't just create wealth, they protected it. The company is incorporated in the British Virgin Islands, a notorious offshore tax haven. For those who are too poor to understand what I'm talking about, that's not just some random detail. The British Virgin Islands tax law is infamous for offering no corporate tax, no estate tax, no inheritance tax, and no sales or value-added tax. The jurisdiction attracts businesses specifically because of these tax exemptions. That's how the ultra-wealthy legally dodge paying billions in taxes, while everyday people fund schools, hospitals, and basic infrastructure through payroll deductions. When rich families hide their money offshore, it creates public deficits that regular people end up covering. This isn't Becca's fault directly. She didn't register the company herself. I'm just giving you some info about her parents. Okay, now let's talk about Becca. Now enter TikTok. Becca suddenly started appearing on People's For You pages in late 2023 and early 2024. And within months, she was viral. Not because she's particularly funny or clever or even insightful, but because she understood the assignment. Make wealth look soft, aesthetic, and effortless. Her content is designed to feel dreamy, delicate, and clean. Her voice is soft, her outfits are pastel, and the camera quality is flawless. She shows you her day: a brunch with a private chef, a Van Cleef shopping spree, wedding invitations in velvet boxes, her cat eating caviar.
Like my cat's breakfast with me, Oscar and I are actually eating from matching chargers this morning. Sushi grade salmon sashimi. Our chef also made Oscar this tuna bone broth blend, which smells like a stinky sock, but to each their own. Soft boiled quail eggs. I'm just gonna give him one because Oscar's also a little bit overweight. I don't know if these eggs are really hard to peel or if I'm just really bad at it. I think it's the latter. We have some salmon roe caviar for seasoning. I'm not gonna put too much of it because I don't want to overwhelm him. Freeze-dried codfish, which I'm just gonna sprinkle. Oscar's not gonna eat these, but for presentation we have some edible flowers. I always put a blueberry in his plate so he could play around with it after he's done. Not happy staring at him eat from the window.
All served with a gentle, pseudo-wise monologue about being grateful. And somehow this works. People eat it up. They call her humble. They call her grounded. They say she's the right kind of rich. She's been called the poster child for quiet luxury, but there's nothing quiet about what she does. She's flashing wealth, just not in the gaudy, obvious way we're used to from traditional influencers. She's not screaming into a camera from the back of a G-Wagon. Instead, she's casually showing off a $200,000 jewelry collection with a smile and a voice as soft as a skincare commercial. That's not humility, that's packaging. Some of you might think I'm just being hateful toward her, but let's be honest, none of this is humble. You don't spend $30,000 on a bracelet, feed your dog a gold-dusted omelet, and post it online for everyone to see if you're trying to be modest. Like, what's the purpose of posting videos of yourself being rich and doing rich things unless you're looking for validation from the comments to feel superior? Take the video where she bought a brand new laptop just because her old one didn't fit the pretty laptop sleeve she had bought.
Okay, please don't judge me for this, but I fell in love with a laptop case, but they don't make it in my 15-inch size. It's only in 14-inch, so I decided to buy a new laptop today to fit that laptop case because it was just so pretty. I promise I'm not normally this extra.
Was that really something that needed to be posted? Like, I don't get it. I genuinely think the only reason people say she's not bragging is because she's not yelling. But quiet bragging is still bragging. And that laptop video was insane. She literally bought a brand new MacBook because the one she had didn't fit into a designer sleeve. That alone should have triggered some kind of mass awakening. But instead, the comments were flooded with people saying, she's so elegant and she rich is right. That's when I realized this isn't even about logic anymore. But hey, if you've been watching me for a while, you know I try to stay open-minded. I like to understand situations before jumping to conclusions. And before I made this video, I actually tried to understand Becca's situation. If you watch her videos closely, one thing stands out. She's bored.
What?
Let me explain. Becca is a billionaire's daughter. She was raised in wealth. As a kid, she probably got almost everything she ever wished for. The simple things that would make the average brokey, like you, happy, don't make her happy because she grew up with them. Eating at fancy restaurants doesn't bring her joy anymore because she's done that like 1,000 times. Shopping sprees don't excite her because that's been her norm forever. For example, when I was a kid, I didn't grow up with Wi-Fi or a PlayStation, but I had a friend who did, and sometimes he'd tell me he was bored and I'd feel like slapping him. I'd be like, bro, what do you mean you're bored? You have Wi-Fi and a PlayStation. And he'd still say he was bored. Like those things didn't excite him anymore, but to me, they felt like heaven. Okay, I don't know what heaven feels like, but you get my point. So with Becca, I think it's the same thing. All this wealth she has doesn't excite her anymore, and now she's trying to find joy in something else. And that something else is video creation. Now, video creation is becoming addictive and fulfilling for her, not because she loves editing or storytelling, but because it gives her something her wealth no longer can. Social status, praise, and validation from people. Oops, point of correction. Her wealth is still giving her the status and validations. If she was a brokey like you, no one would care. But in her head, she thinks the social status and the validations are coming due to her personality, and that's what gives her joy. And let's not pretend. We're all human. Everyone loves praise and validation. Okay, I know some of you might be wondering, how do I know all this? All I can say is just trust me, bro. Like last week, this pretty girl at my gym came up to me and told me she liked my shoes. Said they looked so nice. I felt so good I even started wearing those shoes in my bedroom.
Are you serious right now, bro?
So in Becca's case, her TikTok is now giving her more joy than her wealth ever did. That's what makes it so powerful. So what does this mean? First, she's going to keep posting videos of herself being rich as long as she keeps getting validation. And second, mark my words, when the validation starts to dip, she'll begin doing more emotionally extreme stuff to get it back. One day, she'll post a video of herself helping people, not out of kindness, but because the likes are drying up and the attention needs to be revived. And also, that's where the real problem lies, not just in Becca herself, but in how we've responded to her. There's this desperate need to find a rich person we're allowed to love, someone who can flaunt obscene wealth without making us feel bad about our own lives. So when Becca comes along, soft-spoken and well-dressed, people bend over backwards to pretend she's different. But she's not. She's just better at branding. She knows exactly what she's doing. Take the video where she feeds her cat, for instance. There's something deeply dystopian about watching a billionaire's daughter serve her catfish roe on a charger plate while people in the same country are rationing insulin and working 70-hour weeks just to afford groceries. But instead of getting even a little bit pissed off, people are thanking her. And that's what scares me. We've been so crushed by inequality, so numb to the wealth gap, that we've started worshiping the very people who benefit most from it. We're so used to seeing rich influencers be loud, annoying, and tacky that when someone comes along with a calm voice and filtered aesthetics, we convince ourselves it's noble. And the thing is, again, I don't hate Becca Bloom. I'm not jealous of her either. She's not the first rich girl to go viral, and she won't be the last. What I am tired of is the myth that she's somehow more ethical or enlightened just because she packages her excess nicely. This isn't hate, it's just honesty. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. If you're tired of pretending quiet luxury is humility, hit that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more honest takes. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.